to support universal health coverage agenda, for example.
Africa is resource-rich, yet the continent is least developed in the world. The launch of the first Pan-African Conference on Social and Behavior Change held in Nairobi seeks to bring together practitioners and stakeholders to showcase theories, effective mechanisms, and learnings within the African context on how to utilize social behavior change interventions in different sectors to improve livelihoods.
And it would be nice to.
It is alleged that behavior change is one of the very many factors that is limiting the great continent of Africa from achieving its development agenda. But this first ever conference of its kind is here today to change that notion. Speaking during the launch, Population Service Kenya Chief Executive Officer Joyce Wanderi said the conference is pursuing to develop a roadmap that will lay out well-defined strategies and participatory practices that sets the ball rolling for positive change in the continent.
To really have a rich discussion around behavior change and how we can use behavior change to catalyze development in our continent. And we are looking at several issues around how to use behavior change to catalyze social development goals, as well as achievement of universal health coverage, and also how we can work across different sectors to be able to achieve development in Africa. And we hope at the end of the 3 days that we'll have come up with a roadmap of solutions that we can all adapt and that we can all share across the continent to be able to see how we can continue having this very rich conversation on behavior change. We recognize that it's time that behavior change is entrenched in everything that we do, and it's very core in everything we do as African governments, even as our work as civil society, as implementing partners, and even as donors.
The 4-day conference under the theme, Disrupting Social Behavior Change Strategies for the Future of Africa, is expected to provide solutions and a shared value proposition to promote a thriving African society by interrogating the role of social and behavior change in accelerating the development of Africa across multiple sectors, including healthcare, education, technology, agriculture, gender, environment, among others.
If we really want to fight malaria, for example, we didn't need to use sleep under net. So really when we talk about behavior change, it's trying to make sure that we are adopting the right solution or the right behaviors to be able to live better lives, to be able to live healthier lives, as I may call it. So a good example is, for example, in the health sector is, of course, fight of malaria, as well as fight of HIV. These are some of the things that ail us as African continent, as Kenyans, and we have to look at how do we do things differently.
I think the things that we sort of take for granted in terms of impact is having private sector, civil society, government in the same room, talking about a specific aspect like behavior change. I think that's one, and Kenya has been very very critical around looking at multi-stakeholder ecosystems. As you've heard in the conference, the problems you're tackling right now have existed since independence. So how can we do this differently? And for me, the start is the silos need to go. And the silos need to go, it means we have to be proactive in terms of how you reach out across sectors, even beyond the health sector and behavior change, because health is connected to agriculture. And you've seen the President's Big Four agenda that talks about, in itself, food and nutrition security, which cuts across two traditionally diverse sectors.
For Channel One News Hour, I'm Emily K. Badiri.